When you move into a new place, there's a certain excitement, new walls, new memories, a fresh start. But what if those walls remember things you were never meant to know? This is a story I never thought I'd tell. Because some discoveries aren't just unsettling. They change everything you believe about safety and sanity. I had just moved into a quiet, older home on the outskirts of town. It was a small fixer-upper. Nothing special, but perfect for me. It had charm. Wood floors, vintage doorknobs, a creaky staircase. You could tell it had history. I liked that. The first week was uneventful. I worked, unpacked, and got used to the creaks of an unfamiliar house until the renovations began. On the third week, I decided to open up a section of drywall in the upstairs bedroom. I wanted to run some new wiring and insulate behind it. As I pulled the sheet down, I saw something lodged inside the wall cavity. It was wrapped in an old, crumbling cloth. A journal, leather-bound, dusty, brittle. The name on the front was Eleanor, handwritten in delicate script. No last name, no date. At first, I thought it was junk, but then I opened it. The entries started normal. They were from a woman who lived in the house decades ago. She wrote about the house, her husband, and their quiet life. But by page 10, the tone changed. She began writing about a shadow she kept seeing at the foot of her bed, about whispers behind the walls at night. She said the house was hungry and that she could hear it breathing. It sounded like madness, but her fear was real. You could feel it in her words. By the middle of the journal, Eleanor wrote something that chilled me to the core. It watches me when I sleep. Not from outside, but from inside, behind the wall. I paused reading right there, because the journal had been hidden in the wall. The nights after that changed. I started waking up at 3:12 a.m. Exactly. I'd feel cold, even though it was the middle of summer. I began hearing sounds, soft scratching from within the walls. It wasn't rodents. It was rhythmic, like something deliberately moving. Then one morning, I woke to find the journal, which I had placed on my desk, open to a page I hadn't read yet. It knows I tried to leave. I feel it watching even now, through the cracks. If you find this, don't stay. I hadn't opened the book that night. No one else was in the house. I went to the local records office the next day to research the house. It turns out there had been a fire in 1972. One fatality. A woman, name unknown, presumed to have died of smoke inhalation. The body was never recovered. I asked if they had a photo of the previous owners. They handed me a faded black and white image from a newspaper archive. There she was, standing by the porch. The same handwriting, the same delicate script. Eleanor. But behind her, in the window, was a blurred shadow. It wasn't the camera. It was watching her. Back home, I read the last page of the journal. It simply said, "I can't get out." He said, "I belong here now. If you found this, that means I failed. But maybe you won't." That night, everything escalated. The lights flickered. The walls groaned like something was pushing out from behind them. I heard my name, clear as day, spoken in a voice that wasn't mine. A whisper, right behind my ear. I ran. I left the house at 3:12 a.m. with the journal in hand. I slept in my car. I moved out a week later, sold the house at a loss. The journal? I buried it miles away, deep in the woods. But sometimes, even now, I wake up at exactly 3:12 a.m. and I swear, I can hear something, breathing. If you ever find something hidden inside the walls, leave it there. Not everything lost wants to be found.